Before you close your eyes tonight, ask yourself this: am I carrying today's failures into tomorrow? Most of us go to bed with a restless mind, filled with stress, regrets, and negativity. And that's the problem we're solving today. In this video, you'll hear the powerful words you need before you sleep. Words that will reprogram your mind, release your stress, and help you wake up with unstoppable energy and focus before you sleep. There's one thing you must understand: you cannot carry the weight of today into tomorrow. Think about how many nights you've laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything that went wrong. The argument you had, the mistake you made, the opportunity you missed. It sits heavy on your chest, doesn't it? Like invisible baggage that refuses to let you breathe freely. And the more you replay it, the heavier it becomes. Tonight, I want you to understand something powerful. Your mind and your body deserve rest, not punishment. Carrying today's weight into your sleep is like trying to run tomorrow's race with yesterday's exhaustion. You wouldn't wear muddy clothes from yesterday to an important meeting, so why wear yesterday's stress in your mind when you're trying to enter a new day? Each night gives you a doorway, a chance to step into something new. But so many people walk through that doorway while dragging the chains of guilt, stress, and disappointment. And those chains don't just keep you awake at night, they follow you into the morning, robbing you of energy, focus, and motivation. I know some of you may be thinking, but how do I let go? How do I stop the overthinking, the regrets, the voices that don't quiet down? The answer isn't in ignoring what happened. The answer lies in acknowledging it, learning from it, and then releasing it. You see, letting go doesn't mean you're pretending nothing went wrong. It means you refuse to let what went wrong you anymore. Imagine this with me for a moment. You're holding a glass of water in your hand. At first, it feels light, doesn't it? But keep holding it for an hour, your arm starts to ache. Hold it for a day, and the pain becomes unbearable. That's what holding on to stress is like. The problem isn't the glass of water. The problem is how long you're holding it. At some point, you must put it down. And your mind works the same way. The events of the day are just moments, just drops of water. But if you keep holding on to them, they become unbearable. Tonight, before you sleep, you must put them down. Think of your failures, your mistakes, your stress like clouds passing across the sky. They don't stay forever. They pass. But if you focus on them, if you chase them, you lose sight of the vast blue sky behind them. That blue sky is your peace. It's always there, waiting. But you have to let the clouds move. You have to allow yourself to release the storm. And here's the truth most people don't realize. The mind records what you feed it before bed. If you fall asleep with anxiety, your subconscious marinates in it for hours. If you fall asleep with guilt, your subconscious repeats that guilt in your dreams, carrying it into your morning. But if you fall asleep with peace, if you whisper to yourself that today is done and tomorrow is a new beginning, your subconscious begins to heal. It begins to build strength while you rest. That's why releasing the weight of the day isn't just a nice idea, it's survival for your mind, your health, and your future. I want you to ask yourself right now, what are you still holding from today? Whose words are echoing in your mind? What mistake is replaying like a broken record? Breathe in deeply, and with every breath out, imagine placing those burdens down. You don't need to carry them into your dreams. You don't need to carry them into your tomorrow. You can choose to set them down, even if just for tonight. Let me remind you, you are more than your worst moments. You are bigger than your heaviest day. What you carry doesn't define you, it only delays you. And tonight, as you prepare to sleep, you have a choice. Will you allow the weight of the day to suffocate your peace, or will you release it so that your mind and soul can finally rest? Before you sleep tonight, understand this: your mind is like a garden, and every thought you plant before closing your eyes becomes the seed that grows while you rest. The human brain doesn't shut down when you sleep. In fact, your subconscious mind becomes even more active. It takes what you gave it during the day, and especially in those last quiet moments before sleep, and it begins to store, to replay, to reinforce. That's why so many people wake up feeling tired, unmotivated, and heavy. They went to bed feeding their subconscious with stress, with fear, with self-doubt. And what you feed it is what it multiplies. Think about it when you end your day scrolling through negative news, toxic social media, or replaying failures in your mind. You are essentially programming your subconscious to believe that negativity is the normal state of life. You're planting weeds in your mental garden, and then when morning comes, you wonder why you feel drained before the day even begins. It's because your subconscious has been working all night against you instead of for you. But what happens if you choose differently? What happens if, before you sleep, you give your subconscious positivity, gratitude, and belief? You begin to train your mind to see opportunities where others see problems. You begin to believe in yourself on a level deeper than words. And here's the most powerful truth: you don't even have to force it. You don't have to stay awake repeating positive thoughts for hours. Just a few minutes of conscious positivity before sleep can change the entire tone of your night and your morning. Imagine going to bed each night telling yourself, "I am enough. I am growing. I am grateful for this day, no matter what happened. Tomorrow holds new opportunities for me." Your subconscious doesn't argue with you. It doesn't reject what you say. It accepts it as truth, and it works while you rest to make that truth your reality. Just like a computer running background programs while you're not even looking at the screen, your mind runs those positive beliefs through the night, quietly but powerfully shaping how you think, how you feel, and how you act the next day. Now, I know for many people, this doesn't feel natural at first. Maybe you've spent years going to bed with worry, years feeding your mind fear, years whispering to yourself that you're not good enough, not successful enough, not where you're supposed to be. That kind of programming doesn't disappear overnight, but it can be rewritten. And the way you rewrite it is by being intentional in those quiet moments before you sleep. Instead of letting your mind wander into the darkness of what-ifs and regrets, you guide it gently toward gratitude and belief. Think about this. The last 5 minutes before sleep are the most important 5 minutes of your day, because those 5 minutes decide what kind of dreams you'll have, what kind of energy you'll wake with, and what kind of mindset you'll carry into tomorrow. If those 5 minutes are filled with stress, you'll carry stress. If they're filled with gratitude, you'll carry gratitude. It really is that simple, but so few people take control of it. They let their mind wander without direction, and as a result, their subconscious builds stories they never wanted to believe. Tonight, I want you to try something. Instead of lying in bed thinking about all the things you didn't do, think about 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Maybe it's the fact that you made it through the day. Maybe it's the meal you ate. Maybe it's a person in your life who cares about you. Gratitude doesn't have to be grand, it just has to be real. Then, I want you to think of one belief about yourself that you want to carry into tomorrow. Maybe it's, "I am strong." Maybe it's, "I am capable." Maybe it's, "I am becoming the best version of myself." Hold that thought like a torch in your hand, and then close your eyes and let your subconscious take it from there. Because here's what is amazing: your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. If you visualize success, if you affirm positivity, if you fill yourself with gratitude before sleep, your subconscious treats it as truth. And while you rest, it begins aligning your thoughts, your energy, your decisions with that truth. That is how people who once doubted themselves begin to find confidence. That is how people who once lived in fear begin to feel courage. That is how ordinary lives begin to transform into extraordinary ones through the quiet, invisible work of the subconscious mind while the body sleeps. You are not stuck with the mindset you have right now. You can rewrite it, you can reprogram it. And the most powerful time to do that is not during the chaos of the day, but in the silence of the night right before you close your eyes. That is the moment where your mind is open, where your defenses are down, and where the seeds you plant will take root the deepest. Before you close your eyes tonight, I want you to understand the power of the mind to create before it happens. Every great invention, every great success story, every extraordinary achievement that you've ever seen in this world started as a vision in someone else's mind. Long before it became reality, it was imagined, and the same rule applies to your life. What you picture before you sleep can become the blueprint of what you build when you wake. The truth is, most people spend their nights imagining the wrong things. They lie in bed thinking about everything that could go wrong, about the people who let them down, about the fears that keep circling in their mind. They rehearse failure in their imagination, and then they wonder why they wake up heavy and anxious. Your mind cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. If you keep rehearsing failure in your thoughts, your subconscious begins to prepare you for it as if it's already written into your future. But if you rehearse success, if you picture yourself achieving, if you see yourself calm, strong, and capable, your subconscious begins to believe it's possible, and it starts aligning your thoughts and actions toward that reality. Visualization is not wishful thinking, it is mental training. Just like an athlete trains their body, you can train your mind. Many of the world's greatest athletes and performers use visualization before stepping on the field or the stage. They close their eyes and see themselves winning, scoring, delivering, succeeding. And when the real moment arrives, their body and mind are already familiar with the feeling because they've lived it 1,000 times in their imagination. You can use the same technique, not just for sports or performance, but for every part of your life. Before you sleep tonight, take a few moments to picture the tomorrow you want. Not the tomorrow you fear, not the tomorrow that worries you, but the tomorrow you're building. See yourself waking up with energy. See yourself walking into that meeting with confidence. See yourself having that conversation with strength and calm. See yourself making progress toward the dream that matters to you. The clearer you can make that picture, the stronger your subconscious will hold on to it while you rest. Your imagination is the canvas and your thoughts are the paintbrush. If you leave that canvas blank, your fears will fill it in for you. But if you take control of the brush, if you paint the tomorrow you want, you take back power over your life. This doesn't mean every single detail will unfold exactly as you imagine it, but it means you'll wake up with direction, with purpose, with a sense of alignment that carries you forward. Some of you may be thinking, but what if I've never seen success before? What if I've only ever known struggle? That is exactly why visualization is so powerful. You don't have to have lived it to imagine it. The mind doesn't require proof, it requires belief. And belief starts with seeing it inside yourself first. If you can see yourself overcoming, your subconscious begins to wire itself for resilience. If you can see yourself achieving, your subconscious begins to wire itself for action. If you can see yourself at peace, your subconscious begins to wire itself for calm. And here's something even more powerful. When you visualize before sleep, you're not just imagining. You're planting instructions for your subconscious to carry out. While you rest, your brain continues to work, continues to connect dots, continues to process solutions. Have you ever noticed how sometimes you wake up with clarity, with an idea, with an answer to something that felt impossible the night before? That's the subconscious at work. It takes what you gave it and keeps solving in the background. And when you feed it a clear vision, it begins to align your inner world to match it. So tonight, as you lay in bed, don't let your last thought be of failure, fear, or doubt. Take a moment. Close your eyes. See yourself smiling. See yourself strong. See yourself walking into a better version of tomorrow. Picture the details, the way you feel, the way you stand, the way you speak, the victories you experience, the progress you make. Don't just think it, see it, feel it, believe it. Your subconscious doesn't need to know when or how. It just needs the picture. And once it has that picture, it begins working tirelessly to make it real. Because every tomorrow you want begins in your mind tonight. Before you sleep, there is something deeply powerful you can do for yourself. Something simple yet life-changing. It's called reflection. Daily reflection is not about judgment. It's not about punishment. It's not about pointing out everything you did wrong. Reflection is about awareness. It's about looking at the story of your day and finding the meaning inside it. When you take just a few quiet moments at night to reflect, you begin to understand yourself more clearly. You begin to see the patterns in your choices, the lessons in your struggles, and the progress in your journey. And this awareness gives you power. So many people go through their days on autopilot. They wake up, rush into their tasks, face challenges, get lost in distractions, and by the time their head hits the pillow, they are too tired to even think. Days blend into weeks, weeks blend into months, and suddenly years are gone. And then they wonder why. Nothing has changed. why they feel stuck in the same place? The answer is simple. They never pause to reflect. They never stop to ask, what did I learn today? What did I gain? What can I do better tomorrow? Without reflection, life becomes a blur. But with reflection, every day becomes a step forward. Reflection is like holding a mirror up to your soul. It's not always easy to look into that mirror. Sometimes you'll see mistakes. Sometimes you'll see moments where you could have been kinder, stronger, or more focused. But reflection is not about shaming yourself. It's about owning your journey. When you face the truth of your day, you give yourself the gift of growth. Because awareness is the first step to change. You cannot change what you refuse to see. Before you sleep tonight, I want you to take a breath and replay your day not with judgment, but with curiosity. Think about the moments that made you proud. Maybe you pushed yourself to finish something even when you didn't feel like it. Maybe you showed kindness to someone who needed it. Maybe you simply got through a hard day when giving up felt easier. Celebrate those wins, no matter how small. Because when you acknowledge them, you reinforce them. You tell your subconscious, this is who I am, this is what I want to keep doing. Then gently look at the moments where you stumbled. Maybe you lost your patience. Maybe you wasted time. Maybe you doubted yourself. Don't hide from those moments. Don't bury them. Look at them with honesty. Ask yourself, what can I learn here? How can I respond differently tomorrow? When you do this, you take control of your story. You stop being a victim of your mistakes and you become a student of them. And that shift changes everything. Reflection also gives you perspective. Think about how often we magnify our problems during the day. Something small happens and it feels like the end of the world. But when you reflect at night with distance, you realize that what felt so overwhelming in the moment was just a small bump in the road. You see things more clearly, more calmly, and that calmness becomes a gift you carry into your sleep. Instead of tossing and turning, replaying the drama of the day, reflection allows you to close the book on today and prepare to write a new one tomorrow. There is another reason reflection is so powerful. It builds gratitude. When you take the time to look back, you realize that even in hard days, there are blessings. Maybe it was a smile from a stranger, a lesson hidden in a mistake, or the simple fact that you made it through. Gratitude is often missed in the rush of living, but reflection brings it back into focus. And when you sleep with gratitude in your heart, your subconscious multiplies it. You wake up lighter, stronger, and more ready to face the day. And reflection doesn't need to take hours. It can be as simple as asking yourself 3 questions before bed. What did I do well today? What did I learn today? What will I do better tomorrow? These 3 questions can transform your life if you practice them consistently. They shift your focus from regret to growth, from fear to hope, from self-doubt to self-belief. Every night becomes an opportunity to reset, to realign, to refocus. You see, reflection is not about changing the past. You can't go back and undo what has already happened. But you can use it to shape the future. When you reflect, you are telling yourself, I am willing to grow. I am willing to face myself. I am willing to become better. And that willingness is the foundation of every transformation. So, tonight, when the noise of the day quiets down and the world goes still, take that moment for yourself. Look back, not to live in the past, but to learn from it. Look back, not to carry the weight, but to release it. Look back, not to punish yourself, but to empower yourself. Because when you reflect daily, you don't just sleep, you evolve. As you prepare to close your eyes tonight, remember this: every day is a chapter, and every night is your chance to turn the page. You don't need to carry today's weight into tomorrow. You don't need to fall asleep with fear or regret. You don't need to keep replaying what went wrong. Instead, you can release the heaviness, you can reprogram your mind with positivity, you can visualize a better tomorrow, and you can reflect on today in a way that empowers you. Sleep is not just rest for your body, it is renewal for your spirit. It is the reset button that allows you to wake up stronger, clearer, and more focused. But how you use these last few moments before sleep will decide what kind of tomorrow you step into. Will you carry stress or will you carry strength? Will you sleep with doubt or will you sleep with belief? The choice is in your hands and the choice is in your mind. So tonight, give yourself the gift of peace. Let go. Breathe deeply. Fill your heart with gratitude. See yourself stepping into the future you want. And when tomorrow comes, you'll rise not just rested, but ready, with purpose, with clarity, and with the unstoppable energy to conquer your day.